last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change.
Around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young.
And still a perfect circle.
Of fair play,
athletic pursuit,
and camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network.
Before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias.
And understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we
pull together.
Long live Ultimate.
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
And Jared Waybright from the great state
This
of
live stream
Oregon,
video is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
Just a few minutes ago, our captain.
And welcome back here from Blaine, Minnesota, inside the National Sports Center, as we have the U-20 girls final, DC Rogue taking on Oregon Downpour. Back in the booth, welcome Adam Ruffner, Amadakali Ande. What are you excited about here in this game?
Hey Adakale, great to be here. I'm just excited to spectate these two teams. We've got a 1 versus 2 matchup in the finals, going to chalk, two talented teams from talented communities. Talking with both coaches, they both just want to get back to kind of X's and O's after bracket play and a really intense, I think, weather-tortured weekend here at the U.S. Open. They just kind of want to get back to what their basics are. For Oregon, it's running their zone, really committing to defensive principles. And for DC, it's going to be bringing execution on zone offense and really kind of trying to stretch an Oregon defense that has been putting the screws to team all weekend.
Yeah, I'm just excited to, see this level of Ultimate being played, and the weather being way better here on day 3. So wanting to see some excitement here from both squads, and you're already seeing it here in the warm-ups as they're getting ready to get going to the line.
Yeah, these are two very high-energy squads, and I think you're really going to see that in the finals. Obviously, on the youth end of the spectrum here, energy and managing your emotions are going to be a huge thing to watch for in this game. Both teams are probably going to come out with similar levels of talent. It's going to be who can kind of play to the level of the moment here in the finals.
So looks like DC Rogue will be donning their darks, and then Oregon Downpour in their whites, getting on the lines. Trying to As you look at the little weather graphic there, you see 82% humidity, a little bit better than the last couple of days. 75 degrees and sunny, and not a lot of wind, so an opportunity to put some picture-perfect throws out there on the field.
Yeah, talking with DC's head coach, Alexi, he was really stressing the importance of limiting Oregon's deep attack on offense. He was worried about their big throwers. We'll see with that little wind if they can really carve it up out here in the finals.
See the first pull of the day there, a little bit past midfield, and let's take a look at this Oregon Downpour offense. And a quick turn. Rogue now looking to get a break and move downfield.
That was some great first point defense right away from DC, putting handler right in the pressure, or putting pressure right on the handlers.
And then a nice big swing around into the open space, and a strike cut. Oh, a throw into the back in the end zone, maybe looking for maybe a button hook on that cut, but just miscommunication between the handler and cutter. And so another gift back here for Downpour.
I like that throw. You know, no one was there, but it's a good idea to just get it into space, and especially when you have that opportunity to get a break in the first point. I think you got to be a little aggressive.
So right away, just strictly man-person defense, and a deep hook is put up into space, and with the score there for Downpour is Alice Waite.
And there's that deep game we heard coming into this game for Oregon. They really like to stretch the field. They really trust in their throwers. And as you can see there, just a great box out from Waite downfield.
And that's a great point right there. As you see that previous turnover, just a miscommunication there on the cut needed. But just uncorking this flick, that's pretty. And Waite, all she had to do was wait for it right there and box out.
Waite right there, really knowing her receiver, seeing that it's a bigger target, just putting it up for her to go get on a shelf. Really good decision making there from your offensive captain.
So just like that, Downpour up 1-0. Now looking to get a break here on defense. But now we get a first look at DC Rogues offense.
Both these teams coming into today undefeated on the weekend. So I think a big part of today will also be managing those expectations and being prepared for maybe getting down a goal or two. You're going to be facing the best team you've played all weekend. They're going to be good too. You got to respect your opponent and realize this is going to be a battle here in the finals.
And we get a look maybe to see if Downpour comes in that zone defense they've been known for. They like to switch up their zone looks. Straight into Fisher Lopez hands. And there it is, immediately into that zone look. Let's see what kind of patient zone offense Rogue can implement.
Fisher Lopez was someone that the DC coaching staff really wanted to highlight going into this matchup. They really trust her with the disc in her hands.
So she plays for Stanford, so looking to see some of her leadership there in the handler set.
And here you see that Oregon defense doing such a good job of just making teams work. It's already been about 20 passes into this point. And DC has not sniffed midfield except for right there.
A turn caused, and now Downpour looking to continue to add to their lead.
Hokari there with a great step through poach interception right here in the doorstep.
Let's see if she tries to center this.
Nice cone cut. Great score there from Oregon. The first break of the game of this finals matchup.
And that's a score there for Opal Burris. 2-0 Downpour. You see that D caused and created. I showed you Hikari.
One of the nice things about running a zone early in games is that as a defense, you can really start to see the rhythm of the opposing offense. You get to read them too. If you're just playing matchup defense, teams can get kind of quick looks and you're not really sure what they're capable of there. Oregon got to see the first 25 throws on the opening possession for DC, and their captain read that mid pass, picked it off, and they get their first break of the game.
So what do you want to see maybe a little bit better here from DC Rogue downfield? It seemed like they were very comfortable to work it around their handlers in the back set, trying to break that zone D, but we're never really to get it around that first wall.
Absolutely. I think that they need to get to that second level of the defense. Right there on that opening possession for their offense, you could really see Oregon was settled. They were just kind of rotating to where they need, switching their matchups as they needed to. They were not out of position. What you need to do against a zone is make them start backpedaling and really recovering into space. And I think that starts with the DC offense dictating and really getting a little bit more aggressive on getting that disc upfield, even if it's just ratchet throw at a time.
And that's when you see those different looks that some people have in their bag of tricks, where you have maybe a blady flick or a hammer over the top. But I would love to see a little bit more popping from their downfield cutters. And the pull is off. A pretty pull all the way back to the other end zone. And see, that's where I would love to see them get some yards early on, get some confidence in their zone offense look.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of a momentum swing if you kind of punch up right as that cup is running down. You can almost punch past it if you get those first couple of throws upfield quickly. But again, Oregon sets up here, and DC's working it in their own half of the field, right near the brick mark.
And this is better flow from this DC Rogue zone offense. I love the swings back and forth, really opening up the width of the field.
This DC team clearly has the disc skills to get it upfield. Oregon just doing a really good job of not allowing anything. You can see that wall doing its job. Ooh, and there's a nice throw through the middle. Here we go.
There it is. They're cutting up the field, carving it now, picking their spots. I love the series of fakes, need an outlet. And now they've broken from that zone look. It's going to be straight person defense. And a round flick floating in the area on the sideline, but probably out of bounds, very close to that sideline. See what the call is. And I believe it will be a turn.
Just great defense from Oregon again on that drive.
Right on the line, but
that was actually a really nice catch from number 11, Anna Solovsky. I thought there was no chance on that disc, and she almost toe tapped it in.
And, oh my goodness, a beautiful deep look. And Downpour is making it rain early on here in Blaine, Minnesota, 3-0.
Oregon really living up to their name on defense. This team is aggressive, and they're carrying over the momentum from their semifinal win. They like to let you make your own mistakes and then punish you deep for them. As you can see, Hokari just uncorking there to Waybright deep. Easy as can be.
And I love, I mean, no win, just perfectly in stride, and, you know, just having to wait for it, but attacking it in the air. That's a money throw.
And as you can see, the energy is definitely on Oregon's side here in these first 3 points. They're coming out focused, and they're coming out fired up. They really seem to be dictating each of these points, and a credit to their coaching staff for having them prepared for this finals game. And DC looks good. DC is playing well. They're just, Oregon is maximizing their opportunities on any turnover DC has committed so far.
And it's not necessarily in that zone they're doing like a forced middle, but they're trying to kind of jam it up the middle to those, you know, those middle wings and linebackers, and they're reading and carving up that space. That's where you're seeing, you know, I believe Hokari get a couple of early turnovers and Ds. So I'd love to see them maybe try some cross-field looks or really stretch out those wings of Downpour.
And here we have Waybright getting involved, throwing and catching deep. Really the key cog in that deep attack for the Oregon offense. They're just so confident out there in deep space, both throwing and receiving. It is such a game changer to have a player like that. I think particularly on these younger teams, it's such a galvanizing point when you can just have someone go out there and make plays. And another thing that I'm noticing with this Oregon team, they're getting the disc to their playmakers. You see the captains being the ones picking up discs and really engaging those aggressive looks downfield. And I think that's exactly what you want in a finals matchup.
And I think also seeing the Downpour offense right now, they're getting and dictating the space. They're getting those nice unders and then getting it into power position, like you said, into maybe some of their stronger throwers and just unloading the clip. And you love to see that so far. But would love to see an answer here from DC Rogue. And let's see what Alexi Planche has for his team.
Yeah, you know what these YCC teams, they are very well coached, so adjustments are going to be a huge part of this game. So I'm very excited to see what DC is going to come out with after this stoppage. Coach Alexi telling us before the game that DC has had some practices, but it's really been about bonding this weekend as a team. This is a Rogue team that has found itself here this weekend at the U.S. Open, and they're playing with their most confidence they have all season. They had just under 10 practices before this tournament as a club, so it's very much still a team that is discovering itself out there on the field.
And I mean, what a time to get hot, you know, in the bracket section of a big tournament like this, and you're in the final.
And again, there's still a top seed entering this tournament. There is talent to be had all over this Rogue roster.
See the pull be taken? It's a nice pull with some hang time. So let's see if they can attack the zone look.
Fisher Lopez again in that center handler role for DC.
And I know it's not necessarily a point of emphasis, but I would love to see maybe even a chance at a deep look. Trust one of your cutters. Just throw them into space if you can get over the top.
A rhythm changer of some kind, I think, is what DC is in search of here. And we have a different zone look again from Oregon. They talked about in the semifinals they threw at least 3 different zone looks, but they have 3 to 6 total zone looks in the bag that they can deploy at any time. It's so frustrating as an offense to try and establish a rhythm against a mutating zone.
But the patience right now from Rogue and Hokari coming out of nowhere to make that D.
Hokari is an assassin in those lane poach positions. Once again, way bright with the disc. Back to Han.
Oh, and another layout D back. Great effort there from Rogue.
Paige Dillon coming up big there in the red zone. DC needed that block.
Inside to the middle. And interesting, Downpour out of that zone look.
This is the time to attack if you're DC. They can sense it. You see their rhythm upticking.
Good fake there on the sideline. Maybe looking to center the disc. Late stall count. Into Fish.
This matchup right here is going to be the money line all game.
Oh, what a dime ball into the end zone as Rogue scores their first point of the game, 3-1.
Fisher Lopez there taking control, knifing that throw in for DC's first score of the game. That's what you love to see from your top playmaker.
And maybe that's a little bit of the momentum booster here for this Rogue team. And let's see if that hypes up the D-line.
Paige Dillon coming up huge in the flat with that layout block. Here we get another look at it, and just look at that. That's focus.
And just the patience here from Fisher Lopez. And just laying it right into her cutter's hands.
That's a nice front cone cut right there.
So 3-1 is the score here early on, with Downpour up over DC Rogue.
This has been a very clean game so far. Both teams are executing at a very high level. All the turnovers are takeaways thus far. They're not miscues or throwaways. These are earned turnovers.
And you'd love to see that. It hasn't been choppy. There's not been a lot of calls out in the field. They've been playing a really great game to perfection on both sides.
Yeah, very clean ultimate. It's been a couple points since Oregon's O-line has taken the field, so it'll be interesting to see if they continue that same offense they had on the opening point. Another big point here for DC. Again, it's going to be a game of runs. You can already feel it. If DC can ratchet one more score in a row here, you really got to think that the tone of this game shifts after Oregon's 3-0 start.
So maybe a zone look here, and a deep shot unleashed in the area. 2 Downpour players, and just missed timing that clap catch.
Waybright has the green light all game, and you got to give it to them.
Yeah, Cyrus Linkfield just not able to secure the disc.
And again, here's a huge opportunity for the Rogue to punch in a break score and pull back within one. And who else but Fisher Lopez picking up that disc for Rogue?
Yeah, she'll try a deep look down the sideline. I'm not sure if it's in, but I guess it will be good to catch.
Abby Freund there with a huge sideline catch.
Really tiptoeing, keeping her feet in. Ooh, with the lefty backhand into space. And another cut, and that's a much-needed break there for Rogue.
Second goal there for Carly Cameron. She's doing a really nice job finding pay dirt in the end zone on those continuation cuts. And how about that little shimmy into space for Margot Nissen right before the assist? First, we're going to see that failed deep attempt from the Oregon offense. Great throw there from Waybright, but just couldn't quite come up with it. Here's that great grab on the sideline. Look at that toe and presence of mind.
Toe drag swag, baby. Love to see it there from Rogue.
Here again, nice little lefty offhand. Nissen gets it in rhythm, shoots it into space for Cameron. That's pretty offensive execution for Rogue. And again, they fell behind 3-0, but it did not feel like a 3-0 game. And you can really see that Rogue is absolutely on the level with Oregon.
And that's why Ultimate is a game of runs. You know, you're probably tired of me saying that here at home, but it's so true. Momentum just shifts back and forth between teams, and that's what makes Ultimate just so fun to watch.
Rubber band mentality. You know it's going to snap one way or another.
So now, being broken, Downpour maybe looking to change some things up or continue doing what's been working. So let's see what kind of answer they have.
I think if you're Oregon, you keep doing what you're doing. They're still getting really good looks deep. Waybright is in rhythm right now in this game. I think you just got to keep feeding them and keep making pay dirt in that deep space. And if you're DC, you just keep riding this momentum. You know, you have the D-line breaks going right now. You got that break train momentum. Ride it. Keep shoveling coal in.
Exactly. You got to keep the pedal to the metal right now. As that pull is put up 3/4 of the way. Rogue down in a hurry. And a zone look offense. Excuse me, defense.
I think that's a great adjustment for DC, just giving something different for this Oregon deep attack to look at.
A nice high release backhand into the open space. And a series of fakes there from Hikari.
This backfield for Oregon is so impressive to watch go through its motions. You just watch this disc. It's not stopping for more than 4 seconds on any possession.
Waybright around. Maybe a shot at a deep look here.
We haven't said Hans much this game, number 2 on Oregon, but she has done such a good job being a release valve. You see her about to get the disc here.
Very good job here from Downpour, very patient. And they're using all thirds of the field.
They just carved up that zone, and look, a nice continuation look into the end zone. That's offensive zone 101 right there from Oregon. I am so impressed by that drive.
That was awesome. I mean, if you're just learning maybe Ultimate for the first time and you want to just look at the staples and basic movement of the game, that is a good possession right there to watch.
I don't know if there was a bad cut on that possession from any member of the Oregon offense. That was perfectly in rhythm. They didn't let the disc stop for more than 4 stalls on any player. They were using the full width of the field. That's how you get momentum back after a 2-goal DC run.
So 4-2 the score now. Downpour up over Rogue. Some talks there from both sides. And I'm curious to see if Downpour just continues to come down in zone, or they're going to maybe switch things up and go into a man look or a person defense.
Yeah, DC has been gaining more and more momentum after those first couple of miscues early. And not even really miscues, just takeaways by that good Oregon zone defense. I think if you're Oregon, you continue to run that zone. I think DC still shows they're a little hesitant engaging right out of the gate on these drives, but it's really tuning up to be a great matchup between a good DC offense and a very good Oregon zone defense. Really nice contrasting styles.
So it looks like it will be Waybright back to pull for Downpour.
Also Waybright on the pole for Downpour.
What a pull there from Waybright. Deep into the middle of the end zone.
They've got a cannon.
Back into that zone look on defense for Downpour. Very close to a turn. Back to the sideline. And see, this is where I'd love to see maybe this a little bit of a different, oh, what a second adjustment. Different look on the zone offense. They're more comfortable just working around their handler set, 4 handlers back. The cutters aren't necessarily popping.
You can really see the juxtaposition after Oregon's last offensive point when there was so much more motion and dynamic looks in the offense. And right now you see a lot of reliance on that backfield, which isn't bad, but there's an error from a continuation look, and Hahn picks it off. And here we go, Oregon looking for their largest lead again of the game at 3.
And that one put up line, able to snag it there on the sideline. And into the end zone, and what a layout bid there for Rogue.
Great defensive pressure there from, I believe that was Wang. Again, Rogue coming up with some big plays defensively in the end zone, denying some pretty crucial Oregon scores. But now they've got to march that whole field in order to get a break, and you can see Oregon immediately turning up that defensive pressure. Oh.
And Fisher Lopez just taking her eyes off the disc just for a second, ready to get that continuation swing. And that's going to be a costly turnover, but they got to get it back here if they want a chance to get within 1.
Cyrus Lakeville picking up for Downpour.
And this is kind of what the Oregon defense did in their semifinal matchup. They really tighten the screws. It's a progressive D, and here's Hahn loosing for that upline cut.
And just like that, another break, 5-2 Downpour over DC Rogue.
Hahn is relentless out there in space. She is just always working for resets for her teammates. We get another look at that great pressure D from Wang. Just sticking with it up line. Just taking a beat on it, getting that under lane on it, getting the inside edge. And there's a rare error from the Rogue backfield as Oregon gets another break. Hahn getting open in a phone booth. And I believe she's played almost every point in this game so far.
Yeah, very versatile. Same with Hikari. She's been everywhere out there on the lines, O and D. So what do you think Coach Alexi right here for Rogue is telling his team?
I think you can kind of almost see it in his body language right now. It's getting into their looks a little sooner. It's getting that rhythm and that energy a little bit more towards the kind of top end of your mind. Like you were saying in the last drive, they're kind of settling back in that zone offense. They're not really dictating terms. Their downfield movement is a little stuck. I think they just need to bring that energy up a little bit and just be confident that like that next look is going to be there for them. You know, relying on your teammates.
That's true. You got to trust those downfield cutters. And yeah, like I said, I would love to see a little bit more risks and chances taken, you know, as someone who preferably loves to play the deep in the zone defense. You know, sometimes you can take your eyes and just be disc watching.
Yep.
And then there's people, you know, slipping by you. So would love to see some chances taken from this rogue offense.
Oregon so far just doing a really good job kind of dictating the landscape of this game. You know, they have this 3-goal lead again. DC had that little bit of momentum run, but now Oregon is back in that driver's seat, which I think is very much hard to come back from. They're so good and so talented and so deep.
So right here with those wings, I would love to see them maybe cheat a little bit more deep, and just perhaps a chance for one of those handlers in Rogue to send something.
And just a little bit quicker on that crossfield motion. You could see the disc sort of hesitate, but there's a nice deep look.
Ooh.
You like to see that look, but again, it just stuck a little bit getting the disc across the width of the field, and now Oregon again with another break opportunity.
A nice cut under. Maybe look for Waybright or Hikari to look for the disc, and Waybright able to make the bid. Hikari there on the next cut.
Hikari and Waybright have really taken over this game.
Oh, just a little out of the reach.
Now if you're DC, you got to take advantage of a little bit tired Oregon defense here, I think. You can see when it's in these matchup looks, DC just looks a lot more confident on offense. They're taking these nice gainer passes upfield. How can they continue to have that mindset even against the zone?
And I think that's just about looking at, there's a nice D there from Hikari, but that's just about looking at the simple things, not necessarily trying to overthink it, just one pass at a time.
That's Hikari's 3rd or 4th block of the first half.
Waybright reaches back, sends one deep, but just tailing a little too far for her cutter downfield.
And in this longer point, you really get kind of the vice grip of the strategy of this Oregon team. They like to attack deep on offense, and then they have these multiple zone looks that they can pinch on top of you. So that even when they kind of punt there, as Waybright did, now you've got the whole field in front of you against this very good zone that DC has to worry about. It's kind of almost a meta level to the game when you can play field position as Oregon is.
Some nice looks here from Rowe. Should look to continue this momentum down the field. A series of fakes. Fisher Lopez, the swing. Continue to work it around. Back to Fisher Lopez. She thought about the backhand through the middle, but Hikari once again in the space.
I think you just can't throw around her area of the field right now.
An open cut right there for the score is Madigan Rear.
Yeah, that was a long one. You can take a break after that point. Great focus there from the Oregon D-line to get another break here. Getting closer to half, really taking control of this game. Hikari just deserves a heap of praise for how she's been playing on these defensive lineups.
Yeah, she's definitely filling up that stat sheet, and right now she's just reading the spaces very well and able to jump that.
She's just closing down whole sectors of the field. And Waybright just so steady with the disc. It's basically been going every other when they're on the field. So confident stepping out with that flick.
So 6-2 is the score currently, with Downpour up over DC Rogue. And this zone defense here for Downpour has been the difference maker in this one, with several players just stepping up and able to read spaces and really cause some havoc there for Rogue.
Just very disciplined, too. You don't see holes being exploited in their zone look.
Especially on a day like today when there's no wind, there's no really weather and factor, and that's their look. They want to play a zone defense. They feel like they're a very, like you said, disciplined team.
It shows how much respect the DC offense has for it that they're not even trying some of those tricky throws, right? Like you were saying, it can be tempting as a thrower to try those blade passes and stuff over the top, but that's what a zone wants you to do, and it looks like Oregon has really even discouraged DC from taking any of those cheeky looks.
So it looks like it would be Waybright back to pull for Downpour. Another beautiful pull there for Waybright. Deep into the end zone.
Full field range on both throws. Just so impressed with their game. And again, another full field to work with for this DC offense. Just seems like such a tough task for how well the Oregon defense has been playing.
And this is where I would love to see number 17, Gabby Everett, kind of sit in that third level there between the deep look and the middle linebackers of that zone. So foul is called.
Got a contact on the throw there.
There's a lot of Downpour players just packed tightly throughout the middle there and maybe the first or second levels, but they can sit right there. There's a lot of open space.
And again, maybe that speaks to the respect that DC has for the range of these Oregon defenders, where they don't even feel comfortable ranging into that space. But yeah, you can really see the defense. There's 12 players in a 20-yard patch. But DC finds a little probing space. Let's see if they can continue to run it upfield.
So the first few inside middle passes and then a miscommunication there between rogue players. Disc is put in play.
DC getting hectic and Hahn juxtaposing that by calmly picking up the disc. Who else but Waybright now on the far side.
Ooh, cross-field hammer into space. 7-2 Downpour. What throws does Waybright not have?
Waybright's in their bag right now. They've got everything working.
Just phenomenal there from Waybright.
And credit to Oregon. They're kind of letting Waybright just take the driver's seat and do what they need to with these offensive attacks. Obviously, Waite has emerged as a primary target on offense, but really every piece of this Oregon offensive attack doing what it's supposed to, playing in their roles like stars.
Yeah, if we're playing red light, green light, Waybright has a full green light for any throws possible in their arsenal.
And if you're Oregon here, you just keep that foot on the gas pedal. You just keep this momentum going, and you see them doing that. They're doing a very good job of when they get these turnovers, just punching it in.
Mm-hmm. And that is what's led us to this score being 7-2. You know, Downpour 1 point away from taking half. And Adam, right now, if you're DC, you know, the energy kind of maybe a little deflated from your team. This is it's early, especially in this game, but what is something that can really bring the energy up for the squad? Maybe a big play, or obviously scoring here would be huge for Rogue.
I think you take a slightly different mindset and you really just focus on, like, what do we want to feel like when we're playing offense right now? I think DC is having a little bit of that identity crisis. They're over-relying on Fisher-Lopez in the backfield. I think the rest of the team needs to kind of reset and rethink, how do I want to finish out this game? How do I want to fulfill my role in whatever line it's in, you know? They clearly have the talent and the disc skills to move the disc against this Oregon team. They've shown it a few times. It's just that little bit of extra focus in a finals matchup.
So back to Fisher Lopez in the middle. Working around Dylan. He'll receive the disc once again. And finally a look down the field, not able to complete it though. So it was very close to Abby Freund.
I like that they took that shot downfield though.
Han is shifty there in the backfield for Downpour. Myriad of fakes from Han. Ooh, a high release backhand there. Maybe a deep shot perhaps for Downpour, but very patient. A wide open cutter. So that's Cyrus Linkfilm. Now Han ripping it out of the air right on the doorstep here at the goal line to take half. Han needs a reset late in the stall count and able to punch it in there for Downpour as they take half is number 13, Henry Glasinovic.
Han just taking over on that drive. Pretty much going every other. Getting open at will in the backfield space, up line, chasing this down, punching home the assist. Is that miscue from Rogue once again. Just looking a little flustered against the zone. And in contrast, just this ruthless execution by the Oregon D-line. Just so confident. You can just see in the body language of all their players. It's just pitch and catch out there right now.
Yeah, Han, very good patience. And a lot of the times, you know, with younger players, they're really excited to just punch it in immediately when they're on that goal line, especially when they get a big play like that. And she was just able to stay patient and find the open cutter. So the score is 8-2 at the half. Adam, any first half takeaways or just things that have surprised you so far in this game?
I mean, Oregon coming out and closing that half with a 5-0 run, I think it's just a statement in and of itself. And here we're going to see a full throwing highlight reel from Waybright, just airing it out consistently. I think it's the throwers on this Oregon team. We heard about them coming in, but they're really just dictating how this game has gone in the first half.
So we'll be back at the end of this one. Your score is Oregon Downpour 8, BC Rogue 2. We'll be back down there for halftime.
Robin Fenig already made her impact felt in this one. Now she will let it go, looking for Pruka. They connect again. Now going for the big forehand for Oldershaw, who has steps. Fenig looking deep again, and that one is no problem. Big layout grab to save from Fenig. Behind Fenig, she's able to get there. So looking immediately to Fenig downfield. Scandal, great to take half. Fury going quickly. Payne all alone deep as well, and that is a dime from Desmond. Valeria looking deep for Cartagena, and that is an absolutely perfect throw. Off the hammer. Finney looking downfield for Howard. Pruka in the area, but Howard able to hold her off. And Raptor continues to lose. Desmond looking for Rudin in the end zone. And Rudin goes up over Fennig. That doesn't happen very often. Now the throw to the end zone, caught by Fennig. Fennig going to try to bend a big forehand to the back corner for Pruka. That's a tough grab, but she toes the line. Austin Pruka. Kenny Groom going to Schramm in a big layout. Fennig on the up line, and she's always going to try to take advantage of that power position. Looking for Lauren Allen in the end zone. Big layout block.
Oh my, Grignon Tomas.
Strick dropping it back to Allen, and then quick cut for the score. Scandal hold on double game point to knock off Fury. Get the big upset, lock up their spot in semifinals.
The last 50 years have seen a lot of positive change.
Around a whole range of important issues.
And some things remain reassuringly unchanged.
Like the spirit of our game.
Ultimate is 50 years young.
And still a perfect circle.
Of fair play.
Athletic pursuit.
And camaraderie.
In fact, Ultimate was a social network.
Before social networks even existed.
Respetamos nuestras diferencias.
And understand the value that they add.
The revolution of the disc in flight continues to prove
that there's nothing we can't achieve
when we
pull together.
Long live Ultimate.
Larga vida Ultimate.
Long live Ultimate.
Welcome back here to U.S. Open Club Championship coverage. Back in the booth here with Adam Ruffner. I'm Adekale Ande. And right now, the score here at the half is Oregon Downpour 8, DC Rogue 2. We're going to take a live look in here at the other fields. And the U-20 boys semifinal. I believe it's another Oregon team here on this side about to pull. Wow, what a score there, 10-2.
No real surprise maybe seeing two YCC Oregon teams in the finals today, but yeah, that's quite a discrepancy on the scoreboard. That'll be the second game of our YCC U20s finals back-to-back today.
I'm looking forward to possibly seeing this second Oregon team here in the next game.
Once again, our halftime score.
See the men's team running a lot of matchup here. Quite the juxtaposition to all the zone we've been seeing from Oregon Downpour here today in the first half. We'll be coming back to our YCC girls final here in just a moment. Oregon will be starting on defense.
Looks like Waybright back to pull. Another deep pull there for Waybright.
A really instrumental part, I think, of their zone defense is their pulls. Waybright is just launching that disc and making sure that every single time DC just has so much space to work with, and who else gets the hand block but Waybright?
Suffocating cup and first line of defense there from Downpour.
I don't like to overuse the phrase in the zone too much, but Waybright is absolutely in the zone here in the finals.
So right on the goal line, a flick up to Hikari. 9-2 Downpour. And it is starting to get out of hand right now at the beginning of the second half.
Hikari finds the launch pad to get up and get that goal for another DC break here right at a half. That's 6 scores in a row going back to the first half. Just no. You don't get to go through there, says Waybright. Who else but Hikari shimmying open up line. Nice adjustment there, reaching back and up over the wrong shoulder, but coming down with it anyways.
9-2 is the score. Downpour is really looking like that weather there in that first day. They're literally pouring it on currently, 9-2. I mean, what else can you say about this team? And I know Rogue is down a lot, but I would love to see them just continue to, play together, have some fun, and just give some different looks to this Downpour team, catch them off guard.
Yeah, I think you saw when DC got its 2 scores, it was when they were able to dictate a little bit, and it felt like they were the ones playing the game that they wanted to out there. And other than that, it's been all Oregon. Oregon just looks so comfortable in their looks. I think if you're Rogue, you want to just kind of disrupt Oregon a little, get them a little bit uncomfortable in their progressions. Right now, Oregon's just taking what they want.
And I get that you have to respect this Downpour zone look, but forcing it through the middle hasn't worked so far. It hasn't worked for them. So I would take some risks, be able to send the disc deep. And I know it's difficult with this suffocating look here from Downpour, but if you've got that in your bag, unleash it. Let it out of the bag right now. This is the time to do it here in this final. And a quick forced turn by Downpour, and now they're about 15 yards away from the end zone, looking for another break.
Han once again quarterbacking this D-line attack.
Oh, a nice inside throw to Waybright. Waybright looking, and wow, stepping into the fray there for the score is 73, Ella Donahue.
Elodie coming through there with the score for the break and the 11-2 lead. Just a machine and a clinic out here from Oregon. What more can you say? The Downpour name really suits them. They just do not stop.
It's so constant. Like you said, do not stop. It's been a clinic. And I think the best part about it, I mean, talking to their coaches, this is their game plan. This is what they wanted to do throughout the whole game. Throw different zone looks, execute their throws, and it's been just absolutely beautiful to watch.
And that's a credit to both the players and the system. That requires buy-in and participation from both ends. Both the coaches teaching a system that can be communicated easily and implemented without much practice that these teams have gotten throughout, a return to play summer. Hats off to the Oregon coaches for that, and hats off to these young players for picking it up so quickly. These are not simple systems to learn. And to be a U-20s team and be able to throw out 5 different zone looks in a championship game, that says something to the IQ of these Oregon players. A real selfless bunch, and you love to see that.
Looks like it's going to be Irinaria Kramer back to pull.
Oregon's pulls have been so underrated throughout this whole game. It's really set up so much of their defense. Not only are they deep, they have a lot of hang time so that zone set can get down into position and really set up.
I love the jerseys here for Downpour. I love that little logo. Kind of reminds me of, Umbrella Academy, the Netflix show, but a very clean and simple look there for Downpour.
Here in Minnesota, you got to think Prince and Purple Rain if we're talking downpours, baby.
So centering the disc, back and forth, and once again, another crack here for Rogues. Zone offense. And now we'll see the deep shot rearing back and the box out. A first good deep look and a break through the zone for Rogue.
It's a real nice downfield attack, and look at that, they're rewarded for it.
Need some help on the reset. Fish Lopez trying to break free. Up the line and a left-handed dig up. Knocking on the doorstep is Rogue.
Dylan making some great plays here today in the final.
And a backhand, just not enough sauce on that one to keep it in the air. A turn right there for Rogue, right on the corner.
I think Burris got a piece of that. I think that might have been a hand block there. Right in the corner cone. See here in the replay. Yeah, she got a piece of that one. Just jumping out all over the mark.
Micro touch just to change directions enough.
You can just see the focus on this Oregon defense on the macro and micro level. It's not just the zone set itself. It's right down to these individual marks are just so pesky.
One of the rare mistakes we've seen here from the D-line on offense. Let's see if Rogue can capitalize. Nice upline, a give and go. Tried the upline look again, a nice around into space. Oh, the Superman layout bid there for Downpour.
Is that Burris again?
Yes.
Man. And there's Ultimate legend Lou Burris, I believe, in the blue shirt at the bottom of your screen. He's been going ape about these blocks here on the point.
So working the disc around is Downpour.
Longtime Oregon Fugue women's coach Lou Burris here on the sideline. #1 fan of this Oregon Downpour team here today. And why not? His daughter tearing it up on defense here in this point.
With the motion. Now Blady put up in the air and coming down with the left-hand snag there for Downpour.
Go up and get it. That was nice there from Zetos. Man.
She read that the whole way and was able to secure it. 11-2.
Double tap the jump button in the back of the end zone on that one.
That was awesome. As we take a second look.
You can just see Oregon is playing so loose out there right now. They're having fun. They're trusting their throws between teammates. And here's Burris getting blocks on both possessions for DC's offense.
A deep look.
And that's just a trust throw to your teammate. Zeto's obliging and just getting up on a shelf to grab that one. You were saying you like Oregon's jerseys. I really like their cheer. It's raining, it's pouring. The old man is snoring.
I love that. I mean, they got to just continue to keep the energy up. They're feeling good about themselves.
And there's Burris with a big old smile on his face. Multi-generational, ultimate greatest family there. And if you're DC here, I think you just come out here each point and have fun. I think they've lost a little bit of just having fun out here on this field. You know, it's a championship game. There's a lot riding here. There are stakes, sure. You're still out here playing top-level competition. You're 5-0 coming into this game. I think if you're DC, you got to kind of regain your confidence a little and say, hey, we're on this field too. We earned being here. Let's go close this game out with a couple of nice points for our teammates so that we can say to ourselves, I had fun out there this weekend.
I get a good takeaway from today's final. And I would love to see a little bit more of what happened there on that last point offensively. They took the deep shot. They got it exactly where they wanted, right on the doorstep of the end zone. Just not able to capitalize. Let's see if that kind of dials up a recipe for success here for Rogue.
Phoenix Adams on the pole for Downpour.
Phoenix Adams there with the pull. See if Oregon continues to run these zone looks. I don't believe that they've run matchup coming down on a pull once this game.
This went out of bounds on the pole.
And I would maybe love to see,
Margo Nissen picks up the road.
it might be tough if they set up the zone, but an initial maybe look here off a couple of swings, like a set play.
That zone is as fierce as ever. Doesn't matter if it's the first point of the game or the 13th, you're up 9. They're coming down and putting the clamps on.
Yeah, and if you were to kind of describe this defense right now from Downpour, it's been stifling, and a nice crossfield blade, and I believe that disc will be up here for Rogue.
Wang with a nice recovery grab there.
Oof. Just a little too much there on the fakes, not able to follow through and keep that disc up. And a big backhand, reared back, tipped. Wainwright cannot make the play.
And once again, the zone sets up. I don't think DC has gained possession of the disc more than one time on the favorable side of the field. Oregon has done such a good job of, if they turn it over, it's going to be deep, and then they can set up this defense again and again and again.
Some good continuation flow from Rogue. Now they've broken through the second line of the defense. Switch to the middle.
Ooh, and you got to have that fill cut there available off of that swing throw. And now the defense is set back up again.
And it's the continuations that have been kind of the downfall. There's been maybe it's a little hesitant to continue the flow and the rhythm of offense, which has held them stagnant. Now deep shot cross field. It's going to hang up in the air. Who will come down with it? And both players saying they had a right on the disc, and they got the same portion of it right there.
Yeah, that looked really close.
And usually, I believe it dictates to the offense.
It does. Waite looked like she had a little bit more of a direct read on the disc, but Wang making a nice over-the-shoulder grab there. See if we can, yeah, it does look a little bit like Waite might have gotten the stop rotation on that.
As there's both players just gonna talk it out, and we'll see what the call. That's so close.
I think Waite might have stopped the rotation. They're gonna send it back.
Yeah.
Waite has been so good in the air for Oregon this whole match.
Good little dump. Still working around is Rogue. Through the middle. Need that continuation. Through the middle once again. That's a deeper look. Knocking on the doorstep. Some contact there. Late into the stall. Just got to put it up there. Not in. And finally, Rogue able to punch it into the end zone.
Nice little red zone takeover there from Nissen. Finding Emma Smith there for the score as DC gets back on the board. Their first score since the first half. Oregon taking an 8-0 run before DC finally stopped it there. And a long point. And we're going to see that contested disc between.
It's just so close to call. I mean, I mean, good patience there by both players. And kind of discuss it out. But Rogue, good to see them celebrating again, getting amped up for their squad. See if they can put out a good D-line and get a much-needed break.
Yeah, they really deserve that score. They've been playing well this game. It's just that Oregon has been ruthless in taking advantage of their opportunities.
And see the line present for Downpour on the no line. What's been your favorite mode so far, Adam?
I just love watching the systems that these two teams brings. I can't believe that we're watching a youth game right now. You know, the execution level of both of these squads is so high, given the fact that these are assembled all-star rosters. These aren't club or collegiate teams. These are traveling community representative squads from a given area that have been assembled during the summer to play at tournaments like these. And I just think you really start to see the next generation, the next level that the sport goes to when you watch these events. I really think it's a privilege to watch, you know, YCC youth level championship events. You get to see the next thing coming, and I'm just so impressed by pretty much everything that's going on in this game. I mean, like I was saying before, the zone looks alone.
Ooh, the run through D for Fisher Lopez, and that might be the momentum that Rogue needs. And then the backhand around, and another D back by Hahn.
Nothing is getting past Hahn this game.
Just a really interesting series of events there, and both teams are still mentally and physically in it.
Shorter answer to your earlier question, Waybright's throws. Just on pulls, on everything. Oh, no.
Let's hope Waybright is all right.
A little shaken up on that layout. Hopefully it's just got the wind knocked out. Doesn't seem like people are too worried, and getting up okay. Yeah, just shake that off.
Great sign of
Two
sportsmanship.
big thumbs up. That's what you love to see. They have just been playing such a good game. You would hate to see the end here spoiled by something like an injury.
Nice dig up off the ground. Lefty backhand up the line. Once again, let's see if Rogue can capitalize here offensively. Straddling the line, that will be not in. And finally getting Fisher Lopez for the score, the momentum they needed.
A little bit of shake and bake there from the DC captain. Suddenly that's 2 in a row for DC. They like to go on these 2-goal runs. And you see that first run through swat from Fisher Lopez.
Did herself an advantage, gave him like 15 yards right there on that D, and then Hahn, full extension.
Yeah, playing bouncer there on the end zone line, saying you don't get to go through tonight. Just a nice two-person game there. Just making eye contact, waiting for your teammate to get open. Can be easy as that sometimes right there on the end zone line. Don't have to get complicated.
I think you made a great point earlier. It's hard to believe that these are youth teams playing out here. This looks like a high level of ultimate, and it's really amazing to see that this is the future of the sport.
It's trite to say things like, I've been playing for 15 years and I can't have throws like that, but it's true watching this. Like, you see Waybright uncorking these full field throws. I've been playing the sport for half my life. I don't have those things in my bag.
And I mean, like, as you said, I'm actively taking notes on all these players out here.
I know, the technical form of throws of young players now is just something I think to marvel at.
So Rogue with a little bit of momentum. trying to inch their way back into this contest in the final.
Did want to give a quick shout out to Luke Johnson of Fulcrum Pro. He's supplying some good backstory to Oregon's area YCC women's teams over the season. The first Oregon girls YCC team, founded in 2007, was called Flood, all uppercase. And that's because the original roster had 14 ladies. So it stood for 14 Ladies of Oregon Dominate. F-O-O-O-D.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great fun fact. Thank you.
They were also known for a zone, so this zone is apparently something endemic to Oregon Ultimate. So yeah, shout out to Luke Johnson for that great factoid about Oregon community.
And just a tough read. It's one of the rare errors we see from Hikari, missing her cutter.
One of the first O points in a while for Oregon. Maybe a little out of rhythm from having such a long break.
Still working around now is Rogue. They've got the momentum here in their hands. Nice throw, knifing through the zone. Might look at a deep shot here. They can get it into power position.
DC looking more comfortable than they have all game right now.
And here's the deep look. Just a little too short.
Han still laying out for everything.
She's in full send mode. 100% for this Downpour team. Fakes the around. Gets a nice under, and Fisher Lopez almost able to get the D.
Great read on that backside. She continues to just make plays on every point.
I would look for Hikari maybe racing down the field on a deep cut.
Waybright, the shooter, with the disc again. Back to Han.
Good patience.
This is quietly a big hold for Oregon here. Kind of feel like everything's downhill once you get 12 out of 15 goals necessary.
A big around for Waybright. Just cannot capitalize on the space. And maybe if there was a little bit more wind, that might have hung up in the air long enough for the cutter.
Disc over to Rogue. And Fisher Lopez back to pick up.
Trouble there in the middle.
Just not quite getting that same initiation energy here in this possession against the zone. He looked really good picking up the disc against it last possession, but right now they're getting back into those trouble spots.
It's a dangerous high-release backhand, and someone got a finger on that disc. It's another turn there for Rogue.
Couldn't quite see it in the live, but maybe we'll get a replay of who got a piece of that. Again, just so active in that cup. They have such active marks.
I think it might have been Ella Monahan on that D there for Downpour. Hohan racing upfield, wanting that strike cut. Waybright unleashing, and that one might just tail out of bounds. So a turn once again for Downpour.
Oregon all game has done a really good job of making their turnovers in the end zone. I know that sounds a little confusing, but it's true. They're aggressive in attacking into the end zone space. They're not committing errors on swing passes or in their own half of the field. It makes it very hard every point for this DC to march all the way upfield on these counterattacks.
And Adam, this has definitely been the longest point of the game.
Oh, absolutely. You can feel DC almost wants it because they can claw back in, get a 3-goal run here if they do score, but man, they keep trying to go through the middle of the zone, and it's just not paying off right now.
Once again, Ella Monahan leaving her impact on this game. And we'll have a timeout here by Downpour as they're up 11-4.
Much needed timeout there.
Huge.
You could just see fatigue was starting to play a big factor in just the elementary decision making and some of the throws out there.
Take a second look. Yeah, she got a finger on that in the lane. And another D just adding to the stat sheet.
It's hot. It's been a long weekend. Starting to see some of the effects of that, I think, here in the final game.
So we're going to take a live look in here to the other field. Let's see the score between Oregon. So they were up. Looks like they're still up here on game point, 14-4 over Minnesota.
Minnesota looking to have the disc right now.
Ooh. A turn and maybe perhaps an opportunity here for Oregon. They might look to shoot deep, and they will. Uncorking a backhand and getting the layout D, does not want to go home, is the Minnesota player.
I like when your defense is aggressive and break opportunities like that and chances like that. So even though it's a turnover for Oregon on that game point, I really like them taking that dagger shot deep.
Big switch across the middle. Nice round backhand into space. Oh, thought he might have put that one up. The deep look.
So kind of taking a bigger picture for a second, Seattle won the Open Division yesterday. Seems like Oregon's YCC girls team is going to wrap up the U-20 division, and then their under-20 male team is getting set for their championship game appearance. Oregon almost going for the clean sweep of golds here this weekend in the 3 divisions.
Yeah, the Pacific Northwest just pouring it on here in all 3 levels. Nice two-handed high release backhand.
Pizza time.
And down the line, and that will be the game there on the other end. Oregon coming out on top. Oh, and a little celly. Love to see it.
How do you do that so casually?
If I see my teammate doing that, I'm probably going to go rush him. Where has that been the whole season?
Is this game 6 of the weekend? He is a teenager. Just casually doing a little half spring at the end of the game.
So that's game 15-4, Oregon on top. They'll move on to the final.
Oregon clearly with some gas in the tank still for their final coming up. They look focused. They look like that was taking care of business, punching the ticket to the finals.
Yeah, that was the most casual corkscrew half spring I've ever seen. So we send it back to the main game. Rogue still trying to continue their little 2-0 run, trying to add on to it here. 11-4 is the score. Downpour up.
Cyrus Linkfield with the disc for Downpour out of the timeout.
Oregon getting set to pick up here out of the timeout.
Heavy Freund on the mark for Rogue.
Taking the shot deep immediately. Good peel off. And a great D racing back there for Rogue is Emma Smith.
That was just a great position defense there.
And I think that's maybe what they thought was going to happen. They thought maybe a deep shot initially off a set play, and great help side defense.
Yeah, it looked like DC's defense was expecting that.
Oh, saving it for Rogue.
Wang there with a huge save.
Oh, dangerous through the middle, Fisher Lopez.
There you go. DC attacking that offside space a little bit more quickly. I feel like they fall in love with their pump fakes just a little bit too much sometimes. I'd like to see them get that disc out just a little bit quicker when they swing it across field.
It's dangerous trying to work through the middle. They're opening up some space.
Right here. That's where you got to get it all the way across field.
I'd love to see something downfield. And you see the Oregon boys, U-20 team, coming to cheer on Downpour.
Oh, man. Hahn again on the mark. Disc denial. Early in the game, it really felt like it was Waybright and Hikari making plays, and this second half has been all Hahn as she uncorks it.
Just a little too far out the back.
But again, that's a good turnover because they get to set up the zone once again. Took DC about 3 minutes of swings to just get the disc past midfield on that last possession.
This has been the hardest fought point that I've seen in 3 days at the US Open. It's been incredible to watch both these sides really compete and leave it out there.
That's saying something after the rain of the first couple days. Yeah, this is kind of an ego point for both teams, I feel. DC wanting to get 3 in a row, Oregon really wanting to close this game out and move on.
Floaty around flick onto the sideline. Oh, that's dangerous. The crossfield pass.
You can just see every pass is so tough against this Oregon zone.
Now looking up. That one's floating, hanging in the air. Who will come down with it? And still with Rogue.
Freund sticking with it great there. Waite got a piece of it for Oregon, but not quite enough.
Still trying to work offensively. An up line for Fisher Lopez. Oh, the hammer's there, crossfield if she wants it.
There's a little bit of a wind picking up, kind of coming across the field, top of the screen to bottom almost.
Oh, maybe a strip call. The foul was called. Dylan felt like the defender behind her kind of ran through the disc as she was letting it go. And yep, there was some contact forcing that disc loose. So it will remain here with DC Rogue, trying to make it a 3-0 run. Oh, laying out with the right hand, spiked that disc. There is Grace Wong.
What a marathon point there. And DC not letting go, biting onto that bit, sticking through what had to be almost a 20-minute plus long point in real runtime here. Getting that third straight score here. And there's that big hand block from Hahn. Here's Dylan, who's been so good with those lefty throws in the red zone.
Just making it a game now, and right now the momentum is in DC Rogue's hands. Let's see if they can continue, get another break.
It's got to be Wang's second or third layout grab here today. Just hands of steel. Oregon was up 9. Now they're up 6. I don't know that it's changed necessarily too much of the energy in this game, but it is something to keep an eye on. We do still have time here before the cap.
It's about 8 minutes. So soft gap. See what kind of damage Rogue can make in that time.
I think if you're Oregon here, you want a quick score. You want to kind of put that last point out of the taste in your mouth and just remind yourself that you've been playing great this whole game. They haven't connected on their deep shots here much in the second half, but I think it's about time for a Waybright to Hikari connection or something similar for this great Downpour deep attack.
I would not be surprised if Hikari shot deep off a Han or Waybright Huck. And Downpour working the disc around into Waybright. Waybright up the line. Still working it down the sideline. Oh, and that one just a little low, a turn there for Downpour.
Hindri Glazinovic there with a great cut up field, but just a little bit lacking on that continuation throw.
So back into it, the zone look for Downpour. Got to be really careful here on this end zone line. So continuing to just going parallel across the field. No continuations.
You know, for as often as they've been pinned against their own end zone, DC has rarely made a mistake in that position. They've done a good job of at least moving the disc towards midfield against this imposing zone.
I would love to see those wings get ready for when that disc is on the sideline to continue upfield. And finally a cross-field backhand.
That's a great throw there from Nissen.
The continuations there down the sideline. There we go. Just patiently back around. And you see the handlers there for Rowe telling the cutters to cut in to that open space in the middle.
You can just see on your screen there's about a 20-yard, 30-yard gap between the backfield and the downfield. That's exactly what the zone wants. Look at all that space right there in that pocket.
Release backhand, now uncorking deep, just right to Hikari.
Hikari having a quiet second half until then, but reminding you, she's been a big-time player in this game.
Waybright thought about the green light. He likes to play it short.
Kramer's been having a great fill game in the middle of that Oregon offense.
Going in out of nowhere for the D, Gabby Everett.
Great heads-up play there from Everett.
Still continuing to be patient, working it across.
I'd love to know how many total throws DC's offense has had to complete today. We've got to be up near over 400 or something on this game. Just
systematically just working in. Now a Blady flick and the hammer split, but Hikari skying up to get the D.
She's got such good instincts on defense.
Downpour now floating around backhand and getting a D on the other end. There is Anna Solovsky.
Solovsky being really active here on this point in the last few.
Solovsky open there. She wants the backhand, but no one just downfield. It's kind of hard to put something deep on that Hikari Island. She's been locking everything down in no-fly zone.
Another real grinder point here. Second and 3 points, I believe.
A nice around. Will she get there? And not able to keep that up. And we're going to have an injury.
Great effort on that play, though. I thought she was going to have that.
Let's hope. Rogue player is all right. They're just, got super horizontal to keep that disc alive.
I think a little bit of whiplash there in the layout.
Maybe the wind knocked out of her.
It can just be tough when you land on your shoulders like that. DC's just still coming out here every single point with great effort. You wouldn't know that they were down 6 if you just watched them play each of these points.
Kari with the disc. Nice cut. Inside the wave right. Just calmly working it up. Now an inside flick. Just not able to fully grasp it was Phoenix Adams.
Downpour turnover.
Kramer floating around the disc a lot more, and I like that look, but maybe just a little rushed.
A lot of zip there on that pass. Good work around for Rogue.
Rogue still has not moved it past midfield, I believe, on this set of possessions. Oregon, again, just doing such a good job on defense of always being in position. Doesn't feel like this zone has ever really gotten out of formation.
Good fakes. Just another miscommunication for Rogue, and opportunity here for Downpour to add to their lead.
Okari taking all the time in the world walking up to this disc. Utmost patience here as we get towards the soft cap.
High release backhand from Wainwright. And around backhand for the score for Downpour, 12-5.
Perfect red zone set there from Oregon's offense. Kari picking up, Waybright getting open for the reset, Kramer getting open on the initial cut, and then an easy continuation to that front side cone.
It's another grinder of a point for both these sides. And LOD capitalizing, punching it off.
Just so smooth there. And there goes the soft cap horn at the fields.
Soft cap going off. Talking about things right now currently is Downpour.
There we see Lou Burris again. Again, longtime Oregon field coach, also former Carleton women's coach as well. One of the preeminent strategy makers. I'm blanking on the word there. But he's been a fantastic coach for decades in the sport. He's somebody who has brought so much innovation to team development, has won numerous collegiate and club gold medals, world championships as player, coach, etc. A real pantheon figure in the sport. Now Few getting set, or sorry, not Few, but Oregon Downpour getting set to once again run out their zone defense. Hahn back out on the field after getting an extended break that last point. Strategist, yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Sun's getting to me in a shaded tent, I guess.
Oh, wow. So a little mental mistake there for Rogue.
That's tough.
Just Got to shake that off and focus here on this next possession. Got to get it back.
Looks like we have a call in the stack.
Again, one of the first times all game that Rogue has made a mistake that close to their own end zone. They've been pinned in that position so many times, but they really have had good mental fortitude and at least getting the disc out of that coffin corner.
Han, a couple of fakes. She's going to immediately strike up line, and she's open, towing the sideline.
Oh my, did she get that down?
Are you serious? We got to get a second look at that, and she felt like she was in. But it's going to be a turn.
That was cold-blooded. I thought she had that from our vantage point.
Man, I would love to see the other side to see where her feet actually were. That one's floating in the air, just missing.
Good and timid defense there. Again from that wing zone.
Cyrus Linkfield. Now the around backhand for the score. In the end zone, 13-5. Downpour.
A little bit of extracurriculars. End of a long game. Been some long points, but nice execution there off the turnover from Oregon.
And shaking it off. She doesn't even care anymore that she was called out, but just wow.
I've been so impressed by Han in this game. She is a competitor of the highest caliber. And there you see Linkfield again just being pesky. The wings of this zone defense for Oregon have been so impressive. Just they attack when they need to. They're very heads up. They're led by Hikari, but they've got Waite and Linkfield there, a couple other great defenders in their spaces.
Here we go. Second look at that Han layout.
Oh, I think she might have had that right foot. I think she might have had possession.
Very close.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Great work by our production team getting the slowdown on that. That is such a tough call, but man, what a play.
The right toe.
Oh, da-na-na-na-na-na.
Such a great play there by Han. Too bad it didn't count, but it's going to look pretty later on when she watches it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's got to be included in some sort of highlight package. That's worth it.
So 13-5 is the score. Downpour just continue to add on, game to 14. So game point for Downpour.
I think this is one of those, it's a one-point game for both teams. If you're DC, I think you want to just end this game by not allowing Downpour to close out the game on a multi-score run. I think you want to get this point right here. And if you're Downpour, absolute opposite. You want to, no more bubbles. You want to get this gold right here. And as you can see, Oregon is putting out what appears to be their kill lineup with their top players.
Looks like Han back to pull. Nice pull from Han. Oh my goodness, what a pull. But hang time, pinning them back deep on the sideline, and that's perfect for that zone look if they get into it early. You hear the Oregon boys, U-20 team, starting the D up chance. And Kari getting the D there.
I'm going to be hearing Hikari with the takeaway in my dreams tonight. She's just been a constant chorus this whole game.
Yeah, you're going to be hearing that for years to come. Hikari, bright spot, bright future for her. And we right up ahead, just a little too far.
Oh, that was a great look. Felt appropriate if that game would have closed out with Han to Hikari to Waybright. Those three have just been so good this game, and Kramer with a great end zone cut there and just a little bit too out in front.
Yeah, just not able to get it, and I think that disc took a little bounce there at the end, kind of pushed it out of Kramer's reach.
Yeah, there's some inconsistent blustery wind all of a sudden here in the afternoon.
Very close on the sideline. Breaking the cup, there's Fisher Lopez. And I would love to see it. I mean, I know the win has been a little inconsistent, but if they've got maybe an over-the-top throw, a hammer to break this whole cup wide open. Might give them enough time for their downfield cutters to get onto it.
Oh. Akari with the step through again. DC just testing the middle to bad results once again against this
Ahead to Way Bryant.
vicious zone defense.
And up again down the line, and that is the game. And who else right there but Hopel Burris to end the game. Dog pile, 14-5, Downpour.
What a game from Oregon. Like you said earlier, Adekale, just came out here and did exactly what they told us in the pregame they were going to do. They were going to rely on that zone defense. They were going to attack with their deep throws. And they were going to be the Oregon team that I think a lot of teams expected coming into this weekend. A top seed that can execute point after point after point. You saw that here in the championship.
There it is, your U-20 girls final, 14-5. The champions, the championship is going back to Oregon, Downpour.
And hats off one more time to DC Rogue. You know, you see that 14-5 score. I think that's not indicative to how well Rogue played here today. They were tasked with a very, very difficult zone, but they battled for long points throughout stretches of this game. I think you could be looking at a much closer game had a few different discs gone their way.
Exactly, and like you said, it doesn't really show up in the stat sheet, but there are some possessions where Rogue moved the disc sideways maybe 40 or 50 times at a piece, at a clip, and just was not able to advance it deep enough down the field to give them a shot to score.
Absolutely.
So 14-5 is the final. Should give you a little replay package and the highlights of this game. Some big, deep shots. Way Bryant. Any final takeaways here, Adam, from this game?
I think just the play of the stars on this Oregon team. You know, in championship game settings, you want to rely on your big-time playmakers, and Oregon could do that today with the efforts from Waybright, Akari, Han, and the compliments of everyone else on this roster. Just a really solid effort from all of their pieces. As you can see from this highlight package, it's been those three on virtually every score and assist for Oregon.
We got a little piece of luck on the inside of some of the Oregon's brightest stars in the YCC circuit, and what a game here for Oregon Downpour, coming out on top 14-5, and I just loved every bit of it. It was a fun game to call. So once again, on behalf of Adam Ruffner, Adekale Ande, thanks for staying tuned here in the U-20 girls final. Oregon Downpour coming out on top over the DC Rogue 14-5. Stay tuned for the U-20 boys final coming up next.